I've been trying to focus on being debt free. And so, with that comes a lot of sacrifices. And so, what I've been doing for like the past year is every time I get a little extra money that was unexpected, then I would just dump it on my debt. And so it just kind of um, it made me feel really good. It made me feel really, really good. And it was just something that I thought was going to be impossible to tackle, but actually, it was kind of like once I said, okay, I'm going to focus on it, then everything just, started happening for me, right? So it's like, people will like pay off stuff like when they get their tax returns. When they get, they say, oh, when I get a lump sum of money, if I get a windfall or whatever. So I did that. When I did my taxes, I just said, okay, this is going to go towards this and this is going to go towards that, right? And there's this satisfaction in calling the people and saying, hey, I paid this, I want to pay this off. And they are so happy for you, right? They're like, oh, okay, yes. And then congratulations, right? So I did that with two bills. And then what happened, that's why I'm thinking like, because I was so focused, things just started happening. And so, some people may not say that this happened as a result of me paying off my debt, but it just seemed like the universe was looking out for me. So I had student loan debt, and the student loans. It was like if they were older than a certain period of time, the federal loans were being forgiven. And I even have a friend who were like, they were in a school that was like, I guess, misusing or doing something they didn't have no business doing, and so all their loans got forgiven, right? So that happened, and I thought, ooh, it'd be nice for mine. And it's just like, I get this letter saying yes. Oh my gosh. So that made me feel really good. So the majority of it was paid off. And then I had paid so much on my student loans. So they gave back that money, right? So when they gave me that money back, what was left over that they wouldn't pay off, I paid it off with what they gave me back. So it was just kind of like it was all working in my favor, right? So it was like three, well, actually, the student loans, because you know how you can have like a combination plate, or you could have three things on your plate to pay for your education. And so there was two loans on there. There's actually three, right? So and they're all different amounts. So three of those got paid off, and then I paid off two other bills that I had. Right, so that's like five things if you really want to count it. Shoot, I'm feeling good just telling you about it. So, but just me being focused and initially not thinking that I could do it, and my goal is, I want to be where I don't owe anybody anything. There was a guy, I think his name is Robin Green. I'm going to get it wrong. But anyway, he said he wanted to die owning nothing. And I just thought, oh, that's intriguing. It's just like, you don't leave debt behind, right? That's what he's not trying to leave anything behind, owe anybody anything. And I thought, wow, that'd be great for my family to not have to say, oh, mom had this bill out here and we got to do something about it, or whatever. And they're relying on, hey, my mom's passed away, right? Just, I mean, that's like really out there, but just to kind of let you know, that people, they leave behind so much. You know, they leave their stuff, they leave debt, and then, you know, you're trying to carry that weight. Whereas, you know, you don't have to if, you know, your parents actually didn't leave any debt, right? They didn't leave anything, you know. So I like that, and I don't want to owe anyone anything. I just want to be free, and you know, I know I'll have things that I have to pay, like my phone bill, you know, or like internet service, or you know, just basic things. But it won't be like, oh my gosh, you know, somebody's calling me about this bill or whatever. Now, I will say that I was very consistent in paying my bills regularly, and I didn't waver from that. So, you know, like if a creditor said, you know, I need you to pay this, it's like, no, you getting this amount. You're getting this amount because this is what I can afford to pay, right? And then if they, you know, say they might be asking less of me, I still pay that same amount. I just kept doing it consistently. Like every time, you know, I would get money, I just said, okay, I'm paying this amount this date, and I'm paying this amount that date, right? And that works for my life so that I'm not stressed out. You know, it's not like the majority of the bills are coming on this date, and then, you know, I got to wait till the next payday for, you know, to have the chunk of money so then I can feel relaxed. It's like I split my stuff up, you know. You know, like you've got your rent or your mortgage, you've got your, you know, utilities like your gas, electric, you know, you might have insurance or something like that. I try to split my stuff up, right? Wherever they allow it, I do that, right? So, and it works in my favor. And I usually have like credit, like for cable, television, or whatever. I just pay for internet. I don't like to have cable because I don't watch TV like that. But just, you know, these are just some things that I did and I do to pay down my debt, to feel more comfortable and live the lifestyle that I want to live. It's not like I'm living this elaborate lifestyle. I live minimally. You could say I'm more of an essentialist or essentialism, where I meet all my needs. I have to have my needs met, and then so, you know, everything that's essential, I have it, right? But I'm not going out and buying things that I don't need, right? So I make sure that, you know, I have clothes to wear. I make sure that I have food to eat. I make sure that my car has gas in it or whatever, right? So the necessities, the things that I need, I make sure I always have that, right? And then, you know, you'll say, oh, I want this thing, right? You will be intrigued by stuff, which makes us spend our money, right? Well, I had to assess and say, why do I want that thing? You know, what is it, you know, that's making me want it so bad that I have to have it right now, right? And I've talked about this before in another video. I think it was a mental health video that I had, and I'll try to link it here. But, you know, we'll go to Amazon and we'll buy things. It's like, oh, I like this, oh, I like that. Well, you know, and some people, they use a strategy of they'll put it in their cart and then they'll wait like 72 hours, how many ever hours you want to give yourself, right? And then they go back and they're like, oh, I really don't need that. So what I do is Amazon allows you to set up lists, right? Like a wish list, right? So I name the different lists, and I put stuff under those lists, right? So I have a list called Buy Next. Then I have a book list of books, right? I have a list called Christmas. Just all these different lists that I have for things, in different categories. But my buy next, instead of just having the stuff in the cart, I have it on buy next. And then if it's something that I really need to buy next, I just, when I'm ready to buy something, right, then I go and I look at buy next. And then I think, oh, and sometimes by the time I go back to the buy next, I don't need what I put in buy next. But it was something that was an urge for me. I mean, it's like, it could have been an impulse buy. Like I could have just clicked and bought it right then. But I get it's my strategy for the people who like leave stuff in their cart. And and then they wait a few days, right? And then they end up just not, right? Or like some people will click on stuff and they'll put it in the cart, then they'll go back and save for later, right? So these are just different strategies. And so, because Amazon can be addicting, all these different websites can be addicting because it's so convenient. We can get stuff tomorrow. I can get stuff today if I want. If I want to get something, like if I do it at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll have it at 3 o'clock. That's so convenient because we didn't used to have that. It would take forever for us to get stuff. So the convenience can make us go into debt, right? So you have to have a strategy for yourself. And for me, that's a strategy. And I don't mind talking about it. I do have, now there is a thing that I have been working on for about a year, maybe more, right? Let's just say more. So I don't like to be without my needs, right? I definitely know that about myself, and I don't know where it stems from. So I would buy more than one of something, right? So, just so that the supply of it, so my comfort level would go down about if I didn't have it, right? And I think this stems from, when I didn't have certain things, and it's just like, oh, I don't want to be without that, right? So I will buy like toothpaste, like in the 3-pack, right? Whereas before I might have bought like 6 of them, right? And it's just like, okay, that's 6 months worth, then you don't have to buy it, right? So it's like stocking up, but it's not necessary. It's really not necessary. It's just kind of like, okay, you don't like to be in the store. That's another thing. So, I had to really look at why I was buying those things. Or like toilet paper or paper towels, just buying it in bulk. And my thinking is that, okay, well, you don't have to go every week to get it if you just have it, if you just do it once a month. That is my thinking, right? So, but there's things that I had, it's kind of like, okay, I think I had like 2 juicers at one time. It's just like, why? It is just like, okay, you don't need 2 juicers. What are you doing, right? So I just gave one away, right? So just, there's so many different ways. And if you are a person who gets a jolt from buying, making purchases, like, then you may want to just be conscious, like when you're actually clicking on the item, and then when it's in the cart, and then pay attention to your emotions, your body, what happens, your mood when you actually make the purchase, right? Because there's a thing, the completing of the purchase. That was a whole thing for me too, right? Completing the actual purchase and knowing that something was coming, that was like, oh my gosh, right? And even now, like when I each month I'll look at what I need, my necessities. I know what they are. They're going to be the same things, right? So when the stuff that I have at the house gets low, I get anxious. And so then it's kind of like, okay, go get those things so that you don't run out, because you know how you're going to be feeling, right? So when I make the purchase, I feel relieved, right? So there's some type of, I don't know if it's satisfaction but there's a relief that my needs are being met. My basic needs, the stuff that I have to survive, right? It's not even a want. It's just kind of like, this is stuff that I have to have every month, to be in this world, sustain myself or whatever. And so when I actually purchase it, there's a relief that comes over me because I know that it's coming and my supply is not going to run out by the time I get it. And then there's some comfort in that, right? So it's just, and it stems, I believe, from being without at some point, right? So, we'll all have this trauma where, something has affected us. And for me, it was a time where I didn't have things to meet my basic needs. And so I just knew I didn't want to be in that position. And I didn't have anybody that I could go to and say, hey, I need help. And part of it was pride too. It's kind of like, I can't go and ask for help, right? So I've just set myself up where I make sure that I meet my basic needs. It's kind of like, it probably stems from the trauma, but I'm not going to allow myself, right? And I should be able to relax because I'm in a position where, if I do need something, I can go and get whatever this is. I know that I can go to Amazon and get my needs met, but because of the trauma, that's why I would operate that way. That's why I operate that way. So it's not like I'm saying this is a whole total way for you to do, to save money or, a strategy for buying or what have you. But you're just sharing how, paying off my debt and maybe, purchasing things for you. Where does that stem from that you want to purchase? If that's, what's going on with you as well, right? But I don't have it totally figured out, but I know that the way that I'm doing things now, it works for me and I'm working towards a goal, right? I know that I want to retire, so I don't want to have debt in my retirement. I want to be able to talk about books. I still want to be able to give books away. I want to be able to travel. I want to live a slow life, and debt does not feel good on me, right? If it was an outfit, it would just be raggedy. It would be a whole raggedy outfit, right? So I'm trying to mend up the outfit, honey. Trying to do that. So, I hope this helped for someone. I came outside to, just get some air, take a walk, and then I just said, oh, let me just talk about something, right? Because y'all know I can talk about something. Anyway, I hope this helped you, and take care. I love you, and see you in the next video. And oh yeah, subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye.